So before we begin, I would like to personally introduce myself because today is all about connection. And I believe that a quick little introduction might help us connect a little better within the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. So my name is Ashlynn Kim. I was born and raised in Georgia, and I'm a senior this year at Cherokee High School, which is a little terrifying, but you know. However, this speech is not about how graduation is going to hit me like a truck, nor is it about my crippling senioritis. It's about connection. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, connection is defined as the relationship of a person, thing, or behavior to someone or something else. Here at Cherokee, I believe we're all very connected. Everyone knows each other in some way, shape, or form. We're a very tight-knit community, which is something I take a lot of pride in as someone who's been here for nearly 4 years. Nevertheless, there are different types of connections that manifest their way past the 8 hours we spend at school or during our workday. And it's these connections that rely on our choices, our habits, and the decisions that we make in our everyday lives. And that's what I'm here to talk about today. So this first picture is one of me at the start of my freshman year. If you look close enough, you can see my braces, glasses, and even a couple pimples on my forehead, so that's always fun. But for me, freshman year was a little bit awkward. It's that weird timing between the end of middle school and the beginning of high school. And for a lot of students, like myself included, that change led to a lack of balance. Suddenly, I actually had to study, and I didn't really know how to go about things because I'd never had to do it before. So the only way I knew to study was to sit in a chair for hours doing intensive review. But let's generalize this example a little bit more. Let's say you're reading a magazine, and you come across an article that sparks your interest, which reads, "What to do when you can't find love." Seems interesting enough, so you page through some more. And it sings the ultimate relationship advice. The best way to find your soulmate is to stop looking. Now, this may just be the best piece of advice that anyone could give you, despite the fact that it makes absolutely zero sense. But if we twist it, it actually does. You see, this magazine just told you that if you spend too much time focusing on love, you'll find it harder to find meaningful relationships. And the same goes for life in general. If we spend all of our time and effort in one aspect of our lives, it throws our life off balance. And suddenly, it feels a lot harder to make meaningful connections. So this next picture is me during the beginning of my junior year. I think I look a lot better personally. But for me, I'm not gonna lie, junior year was a little bit difficult. Instead of spending time with my family, I studied AP Physics. I had zero balance, and slowly but surely, it began taking over my life and affecting my connections. But let's put this example into broader terms, terms that may apply to some of you here today. So let's say you have a job, which is normal for most of us in this room, and let's say you absolutely love your job. You are a total workaholic. So you wake up early in the mornings and you head off to work. And then you come home late at night, maybe grab a quick bite to eat for dinner, take a shower, and then hit the hay. Now superficially, this may not look like an unbalanced life necessarily. Well, let's take a closer look. Throughout this whole process of you working and working and working, you feel like you're always doing and never stopping. You've centered all of your time and energy into one aspect of your life, work. What you don't see is the lack of balance between you and your family, you and your friends, you and your partner. And you see, it's not our fault. Sometimes as humans, we just become so invested in whatever we're doing that we often become blind to our surroundings. And we don't recognize the little mistakes that we're making before it's too late, and we've totally lost control. So back to my junior year. I'll say junior year was, if not the hardest, then definitely the most stressful. And I think a lot of students think of it like that because colleges are actively looking at your junior year. So naturally, students put a lot of pressure on themselves so they can be the best that they can possibly be. But it doesn't have to be stressful. You see, there's one thing that I really wish I had during my junior year, and that's time management. Do I think that if I had the proper time management skills and the self-discipline to stick to it, I could have been more successful? Maybe I could have gotten a few extra hours of sleep. Or maybe I could have avoided potentially jeopardizing the connections that I had. Yes, which brings me to my main point. It's that your decisions affect your balance. My lack of balance led me to skip meals, ditch my friends and family for ACT prep, and hinder the connections that I had. But this isn't some sob story I'm trying to tell. I'm utilizing my past experiences with poor decision making to show you all what a lack of balance can lead to. So what do we do when we find our lives suffering from an imbalance? Well, first, I think it's important that we answer this question. What do we do when we find ourselves so hyper-focused on one aspect of our lives that we begin to lose connection with ourselves? To put it simply, it's all about finding that one thing that throws you back in tune with yourself. For some of you, it might be volunteer opportunities, maybe a 15-minute walk after school, or a yoga session. For some of you, it may be a new sport, maybe reading a book, or taking a nap. It's truly just trial and error, but I believe that if we can apply these daily, small practices, we can truly be better people. So now, what do we do when we find our relationships struggling from a lack of or poor connection? I believe there are 3 rather simple steps. The first step is recognition. Recognizing the problem at hand allows you to attack it head on. For example, you see that there's a shift between your friendship, and so you decide you want to do something about it, which leads you to addressing the problem. For example, you see that shift, and so you decide to set aside time, make things right, and showcase the love and care that was missing beforehand. And lastly, I think this one's the most important as well, and that's expecting change. Understand that you are not perfect, nor are your friends, nor is your family. And that is 100% totally okay. Because if we truly want to change for the better, it's more than just swiping the surface. It's about digging deep down and uprooting the problem before it worsens, so that it won't happen again. So today, I hope we've been able to connect in the short time that I've spent with you, and I hope that maybe I've said something that'll help you in fostering and maintaining your own connections. So I leave you with this. I challenge you to find your own balance and use that balance in your daily lives. Because I'm a firm believer that if we can apply these small changes over time, we can truly be better people, not only for ourselves, but for the others around us as well. And I think it's safe to say we can all find that balance within our lives. We can all maintain our own strong, quality connections. We just have to figure out the right way to do it for ourselves. Thank you.